Yeah.
Just on behalf of Britcar, just wanted to say have a great race, enjoy. Thank you for being part of this amazing day. I think it'll be a phenomenal race. And well done to Vincent and Mark to getting you all here. So thank you very much for being here and enjoy. All right.
Hello race fans and welcome to Silverstone, the home of British motorsport, right here in the heart of Northamptonshire. After an endlessly long winter, it is finally time to hit the track once again for round 1 and 2 of the Britcar Endurance Championship in 2021.
How are we doing, Charlie? What day is it?
It's race day. Come on, Mark, you know that.
Oh, feeling great. It's race day, isn't it? It's always good when you get to race day. All the work, all the effort of months and months, in fact, in this case years, all going into the first race of the season. So it's a really exciting day.
This is race week. This is where it matters. You know, the drivers at least are talking to each other a little bit less. You know, the driver pairings are sticking to themselves a little bit more, which you always expect, but I think you can see with everyone that attitude's changed a little bit.
It's one of those things we wanted to get on with it now. We wanted to get in the car and go, but you've got to now wait for an hour and a bit of qualifying, all that stuff in between, so I had loads of anxiety dreams.
You know, being at the home of motorsport, being at Silverstone, it's just a whole different atmosphere really. It's really, I guess, reality is biting now about what it's going to, how exciting it's going to be, but how challenging it's going to be.
The big story this season in 2021 comes from last year's champions, Praga Cars. An innovative new programme that pairs pro drivers with personalities from TV, YouTube and virtual racing, who in most cases are making their first steps into motorsport.
Yeah, 5 years ago, I was here in the WEC garage, trying to sneak in to have a look. So to be here now as a driver is pretty good.
Got the 5 guest driver cars on the grid at Silverstone. Not all the cars will be racing. James Walker and Miles Lacey are starting in round 2. And Jay Morton as well is racing to get his final signature so that he can race with others at the second round at Snetterton as well. So Snetterton will be another level again for us as we get everybody in the guest driver programme onto the grid.
I'm excited the fact that I can't predict the outcome. I don't think we've thought about it, which driver combinations, which car could be first. What, could we be on pole? But I honestly don't know from all the combinations how this is going to pan out.
There's one or two that really fancy themselves for the right reasons. They're in the programme because they're experienced racing drivers, and they're obviously going to be the favourites over the relative novices like Jimmy Broadbent. I mean, I don't think Jimmy's expecting to win, and rightly so. He just wants to go out and enjoy himself. So it's impossible to predict who might win.
Now time for qualifying here at Silverstone International Circuit. Praga R1's straight out and on the pace. So it's job done for Charlie Martin. She's handed over the number 91 Praga R1 to Jack Babby.
It was quick, but we're just struggling quite a lot to keep rear tyre temp in the car, so because we've not got any temperature in the tyres, we're losing pressure. And it's just frustrating because we could have gone so much faster if the car was playing ball a bit more.
So the superstar Jem Hepworth, the 2020 Britcar Endurance Champion, brings the car into pit lane to hand over to Jimmy Broadbent. The world inside out. It's now time to do it for real.
It's kind of weird because you're all in your own little world when you're out there. I mean, you watch it on TV and you think, oh god, that must be so hectic and so crazy, but when you're there, you're quite focused, you're quite chilled out almost. You're just trying to work things out all the time. Like, okay, well, I can go a bit quicker here. But once I got out there and got used to it, it kind of felt like it was, well, almost normal. So that's a nice thing.
Jordi March and Abby Eaton come into this Britcar season with much to prove. what a start to the 2021 Brit Car Endurance season for young Scotsman Gordy Much. He signed off his 2020 genetic campaign with a win here at Silverstone, and he's backed it up with pole position in the Praga.
Couldn't ask for a much better start, really. Abby put some really nice laps in early on in qualifying, put some nice bankers in.
Yeah, Gordy did the hard work at the end there, and I mean, I was P1 when I jumped out the car, and then Gordy dropped to P2 for one moment, and then back up to P1. So good start to the year.
Yeah. Like I really do feel like it's better. Just like on the turbo on the exit just feels so much better in second. Moment we're fastest, Abby and myself. You know, it's positive so far, but you know, so much can come into the equation, like traffic and things like that. So you could be the two fastest drivers on the grid, but if you don't have the luck on your side, then.
Steve McQueen once said, "When you're racing, it's life. Everything else is just waiting." And that waiting is finally over. It's time for race 1 of the 2021 Brit Car Endurance Championship. And at the sharp end of the field, a rivalry is already emerging in the Praga garage. With their guest driver programme, the two professional driver pairings clearly both have the same ambition. It's Abby Eaton and Gordy Much versus Charlie Martin and Jack Fabi. Who will come out on top? It's time to find out here at Silverstone. Racing here at Silverstone to come into the arena section for the first time. Is Abby Eaton going to have a look up the inside here? Oh, and there's contact for the pole sitter. The 333 car of Abby Eaton goes around, and that car does not look healthy at all. No problem. Gordy Much looks on in despair. Remember, this young man put the car on pole position.
I don't do like risky moves. That's not, and especially not, you know, a thing like this on lap 1, you know, turn 2.
Good news is for fans of the 333 Praga car of Gordy Much and Abby Eaton, they are back out on track. Back at the sharp end though, it is good news for the Praga team of Charlie Martin and Jack Fabi. Charlie bringing that car in for Praga factory driver Jack Fabi to take over and get back out on the circuit again. As we can see, Mark Harrison, the managing director of Praga Cars, looking very nervously on. So the superstar Jem Hepworth, the 2020 Brit Car Endurance champion, brings the car into pit lane to hand over to Jimmy Broadbent for his first ever race in this Praga R1 prototype. He knows the virtual world inside out. It's now time to do it for real.
The fans are going mad. The YouTube comments are entirely about Jimmy. So someone on the commentary referred to him as a top sim racer, and his fans responded, "Nah, he's the real racer now."
Charlie Martin started this car off, brought it into pit lane, handed over to Jack Fabi, and the number 91 crew are going to take the first honours of the seasons here in their Praga R1 here at Silverstone in Brit Car 2021.
Hey, what can I say? It's first race win of the season, hopefully not the last.
On your first Praga 2021 race at Silverstone, Charlie Martin and Jack Fabi, ladies and gentlemen.
Is that champagne or is it champagne?
Race 1 was really disappointing because you know, especially after the pole position and our pace in practice, to get taken out turn 3 when it wasn't a fault of Abby's, she couldn't do anything in that situation. It was, yeah, no, it was quite painful.
I've never been so tired in my life.
Nearly a podium, but
I was so knackered at the end there.
Tiring.
Yeah, really tiring, you know. Anyone who says that race drivers aren't athletes, mate, trust me, they're fitter than me, definitely.
It was a very interesting race, that I think. It was eventful. We brought a bit of trouble on ourselves. We had drivers who did really well. We had the odd mistake. We had a bit of everything in that race, really. Fortunately, in racing, you don't have time very much to dwell on success or failure. You have to just get on with the next thing. Our next race is in about an hour and a half's time. We have a couple of minor fixes in this garage. We have a slightly more major fix in another garage. But you know, we'll be ready and we'll get out for the next race. We'll get all the cars out for the next race, and we'll do it all again. It'll be exciting.
It was a perfect start to the season for Jack Fabi and Charlie Martin, and by virtue of their great result in race 1, they get to start at the front of the grid for race 2. However, Abby Eaton and Gordy Much, well, they weren't quite so lucky. Contact at turn 3 sent that car many laps down, having to start that car from the very back of the grid. So these menacing Praga R1 prototypes sit poised on the grid. And we are green here at Silverstone for round 2. And it's contact!
We're just trying to pick up on the live feed. We know there's a safety car out. It looks like about 6 cars have kind of dropped to the bottom of the field, so I imagine there's been a bit of a coming together, but there's no Pragas in there, which is good. Hope everybody's okay.
Been a huge shunt at T2 and T3. We're under a safety car again. Luckily, none of the Praga drivers are involved or injured. Hopefully no one's injured at all. And hopefully in a few minutes we'll be getting back racing, and in about 45 minutes I'll be on the podium again.
Of course, in motorsport, strategy is so important, and the safety car is always the joker in the pack. And with their pit stop now complete, the dark blue 333 Praga of Abby Eaton and Gordy Much have leapfrogged all the way up to 11th place.
Hard work, because of course coming from the very back of the grid, Abby'd done an awesome job at the start to get the car over to me in a really strong position. Just get the foot down and be the fastest driver on track.
And the 333 Praga R1 comes over the line, and Abby Eaton and Gordy Much are winners.
The main thing I was trying to do is to cut through the pack as safely as possibly. You know, managed to get quite a few positions off the line, and then obviously the chaos happened behind us. So from then on, I just needed to weave and keep as much temperature in those tyres as possible. So when this dude got in the car, he was able to bring it home in P1s.
2 trophies in 2 races. 2 trophies in 2 races. Yeah. Go Charlie.
We know that Jack Fabi has his focus laser guided towards that 2021 Brit Car Endurance Championship, but the order has been shaken up by the arrival of the speedy Scotsman Gordy Much.
I think the dominance in that race and our pace this weekend, besides not having the luck, is just more than a result. I think it's also a statement as well of what we're here to do and how we're going to do it by winning.
I mean, if you look at all the drivers in the guest driver program, it's been a fantastic weekend. Right, Charlie and Jack, first and second, that's fantastic. Abby and Gordy, in the end, had a brilliant time. It was just phenomenal, so they're really fast. Jem and Jimmy have just been a revelation, really. I mean, we could tell Jimmy was going to do well when we went testing, because he had the right attitude and he was putting in some good times, but he's really taken to it like a duck to water. And
like, as a big wash of relief as I crossed the line, thinking, you know, not only have we got 2 really decent results, 2 fourth places, kept it completely out of trouble. 0 mistakes. Yeah, I couldn't ask for much more. The car ran faultlessly, 0 issues whatsoever. I mean, pretty much as the debut goes, I'm pretty happy with that. About as big an endorsement I can give for sim racing. That's all I've done is sim racing and a bit of testing, and I'm out there driving, so I think it works.